over, curled herself into place, said, okay, because now it was, and slept because now she could. Then, good morning, Beverly said, what time? We have all of the time. So again, she said, okay, because it was, and curled herself into place. By the way, on those papers, right? Very good, excellent, hot damn, they'll drive them all crazy. Yeah!
Are you ready? Yeah. All right, judges, let's do this on the count of 3. One more time. 1,
clear the bar.
2, 3. Put 'em up! Put 'em up!
Do the chant. Give him a seat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got 4.
I got it. I explained my remarks.
No, you're good. Don't worry. Don't worry. I understand. I understand.
You don't have to
This
cross
was
the
a
front.
hard bargaining judge. The one that was like, well, what else you got? The drink ticket's nice, but what else you got?
Yeah.
She was shaking him down out there. She was like, what you got on my 40? Patted his pockets and stuff. Ended up hanging him by one ankle. All right.
So violated in the best way.
There was some...
Get hyphy. Get hyphy.
How many drink tickets did the poets get? I don't know. They should let me know, because I will
It depends on
perform.
how many blowjobs you give Bobby.
Oh! You hear that, Bobby? Should we start a single file line, Bobby? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your bartender, Bobby the bartender. Poets, you heard the first round. Ladies and gentlemen, now is a very, very special time. Now, before we're about to go to a little break, now we get a taste, a teaser if you will, a little bit of an amuse-bouche of our feature. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up to the stage is none other than Erin Livingston, giving you a taste of why you will be back in your seats after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Erin Livingston!
Here from Austin.
You haven't even heard me speak yet. I don't know if that may be a little premature. I've always wanted to be a cheerleader.
It's been premature.
I just gotta work with what the Lord gives me. It's okay. Yeah. So I always wanted to be a cheerleader when I was little, but my mother always said no, and I think we'll find out why. But if you could indulge me for just a moment, I'd like to lead you all in a little cheer. Okay? Ready? Okay. Well, yeah, ready? Give me an M!
M!
Give me a Y!
Y!
Give me a C!
C!
Give me a U!
U!
Give me an N!
N!
Give me a T!
T!
What's that spell?
My cunt!
What's that spell?
My cunt!
I have heard far too many tired metaphors about my vagina. Good Lord. This is why I was never allowed to be a cheerleader, folks. I've heard far too many tired metaphors about my vagina, and y'all on the mic have got to be more humble. You are basking in the glow of your creators every day, right now even. And you don't even have the decency to lower your gaze, or soften your voice, or model yourself in her image for a change. You know, my cunt is a lady of the world, able to ask for directions in 5 different languages, able to give directions in 6, though no one ever inquires. They just congratulate themselves upon finding Atlantis. So I go on ahead and let them think they found Atlantis damn near every time. It's just easier that way. And when they promise fireworks, well, never amounts to more than the signaling of the daily closing of my amusement park. Ooh, baby, it's the same show every night. But when they say they want to worship at my temple, now we're getting somewhere, though a deity so powerful as a goddess has no use for just any kind of worship. You're going to need to prove your devotion. You're going to need to build me a motherfucking temple before you can worship me in it, you follow? This will not be just any temple, no, this will be a temple of Mayan proportions built with 3,000 sacrifices. I want major, irresponsible, warmongering, government-scale sacrifices. My cult is a place of blood, guts, alpha and omega of life, and I expect you to respect and honor it as such. Because for every place where my velveteen has been loved off in your favorite spots or question a mouth so clumsy it finds no word better than pussy to describe the sacred knowledge and treasures embedded in these bodies that brought you into this world, I promise there are infinitely more left undiscovered that you will never know.
So ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Erin Livingston. What's a half?
I think I just alienated the whole room.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You guys haven't even got to hear Big Papa
It's a room full of boys.
That's right. So guess what? We're gonna take a little break here. Oh, okay. We have a score of Zoo. The show again. No, that was terrible. That was awful. I'm trying to. 1, 2, 3, ladies and gentlemen. On the count of 3, I need you to cheer your asses off so we can get this next part of the show started. So, ladies and gentlemen, 1, 2, 3. Yes. That was much better. We're getting it started here indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, these features were driven all the way out from Austin, Texas. Are wonderful, wonderful people indeed. In fact, so wonderful that they donated more than half of their day on a sleepless night to read to almost, 1,200 high schoolers in Gilroy. That was amazing. That's spreading the art form there, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say about these people that you haven't already seen on the flyer or the mailing list? Well, they hosted the entire 2007 team. They put us up, gave us a nice warm place to crash, nice cool place to crash. I forgot where we were. It was warm. It was very, very warm. But at the same time, the 2007 Slam team for San Jose would have had no place to stay in Austin, Texas if it wasn't for these wonderful, wonderful people. So they hold a special place in all of our hearts. Me, being a person from Austin, Texas, I'm absolutely in love with Big Papa E. That he makes me nervous and my palms sweat. But yeah, I know. But your palms are always sweaty. You're a clammy guy. You know? I don't know what it is. Don't worry. But ladies and gentlemen, back to these features. I want you guys to give a San Jose welcome for Big Papa E and Erin Livingston's your feature for tonight. Give it up for Erin Livingston. She's coming to the stage.
She's awesome.
Him!
We've already talked about one thing the president doesn't like us to talk about, which is being a woman and being proud of it. So we're going to jump right into the second, which is the war. I'm going to get a little political for you here. This is a... You knew it was coming. We had the whole... Did you guys see the flyers? With the little... You should check out the flyers. They're pretty obvious. They're subtle, actually. So this is a story about a good friend of mine. I've known her for several years now, and it's about her relationship with her brother regarding the war. So he must know how her eyes stare at him. From his unmistakable crew cut on down each brass button, to polished patent leather, then back up crisp starched creases, to confetti breast of patches finally landing on his name tag. Only sometimes do they make it back up to his square jaw, and on rare occasions they might meet his gaze. But his eyes are faded. Smoldering like mortar shells gone screaming through hell, his sights stored in memory reflex sense of smell, and she wouldn't dare ask if he didn't want to tell. It drips off him, wanting someone to understand. That firstborn son, raised in an upper-class subdivision, turned college dropout, left without meaning as a man. Searching for approval, he landed in Afghanistan, his pride weighing heavy as the machine gun in his soft hands, and he wonders, how did this happen? Together they ask the same questions. Too many limbs lost to a cause explained only in catchphrases. Too many bullets fired over rubbled alleys of misinformation. Too many graves dug to bury baby faces. And sometimes she wishes the two of them could trade places, because he must know how his eyes stare at her. From her unmistakable, knotted-up locks, on down each protest slogan button, to scuffed and muddied marching boots and back-up pants of patchwork trails, finally landing on her unbound breasts. And only sometimes do they make it back up to her square jaw, and on rare occasions they might meet her gaze. But her eyes are faded, too long jaded by an underestimated significance of her countercultural presence in the face of a leader who would rather see her own brother die than admit to lying about why the U.S. went to war. See, this is not a battle over who loves our country more. This is a battle over preserving our nation's values, conflicted as they are. Hers is exactly the type of freedom he set out to defend, yet believes is a too futile means to an end. And his is exactly the type of freedom she could never defend, because she believes it a too brutal means to an end. To be American is complicated, to say the least. To err is human. We all make mistakes. But then we all wonder why it takes so long to learn from them. So I learned from my friend and her peacemaking process with next of kin together. Around a dinner table, mediated by two loving parents, they settle conflicts that have baffled and plagued the greatest of nations. So God bless these heroes, that they may lead my generation. Woo! Up to the stage, my partner in crime, Mr. Big Papa E.
A, B, C, D,
See?
I'm gonna hear a haiku real quick.
Hell yeah! Let's hear it!
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. Thank you. Here's my second favorite haiku. It's called George A. Romero presents Haiku of the Living Dead. It's a very difficult haiku to do. Okay, you know the rest. It hurt.
Yeah, that was rough. Great, bravo.
Take one for that poetry.
This is called Leaving Las Vegas. I exist in a forest of chain stores and pavement, of billboard whores and sacraments, of plastic coins and dice meant to distract the masses from their dreary daily routines as wobbly cogs in the great white machine. I exist in an X-rated cacophony of prepackaged destiny, of come-hither eyes from 1,000 blinding signs, of cocktail waitresses bound in tight poly plumage and gagged by patriarchy gone mad, 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 of sex store for dollar boosts, satiating, salivating sociopaths with eye candy debutantes and gaily colored tissue boxes while minimum wage jizz moppers wait to sop up their discarded sickness of oxygen mask octogenarians, chain-smoking Lucky Strikes, and shuffling cross-casino carpets clutching change cups to skinny chests like drowning men in life preservers, of shipwrecked showgirls and their silicone come-ons shaking their moneymaker for drooling fools and their Viagra choke tools who think this must surely be the American dream. I exist, but I do not live, for this life is not for me. Not this quagmire of consumerism, this miasma of materialism, this bloated corpse of sexism, this wretched hive of scum and villainy. I see, with my naked eye, fields of hunched shoulders pressed against huge banks of slots, rocking unconsciously back and forth and mumbling, stuffing quarters into slots and coaxing their dreams to life at the amazing Technicolor wailing wall. I exist as a shadow cast on a casino wall, watching, sick to my soul and yearning to leave this shopping mall town and its chopping block people and escape. But to where? To a corporate culture that trades billions of pink Chinese lungs for trillions of nicotine-tainted coffin nails and the bright white image of the Marlboro Man called progress? To a soft drink youth movement of mass-marketed rebellion that teaches our children to pay for their advertising and display their logos proudly across pubescent chests and define themselves, not by their actions, but by their fashions. To a soundbite government of photo-op polemics smiling for the camera and regurgitating the latest cross-reference trends and poll statistics as they kiss white babies and bomb brown babies over there, somewhere. To a society where the term work ethic has become meaning, to a society where the term work ethic means working your life away for ethics-free companies, and religion means you will be rewarded for your sad, lonely life after you die. Bitter, burnt, heartbroken, and alone. There is no escape. There's no leaving Las Vegas. Every town in America is Las Vegas, and we are all hopeless gamblers on an extended losing streak, just rolling those dice as the skyscrapers come tumbling around us. Thanks.
Yeah!
We did, yesterday we were at Gilroy High School, and we did 6 hour-long assemblies right in a row for all day long. So we performed in front of 1,200 kids, and my voice is just shot, so I apologize for choking my way through that. Ladies and gentlemen, start clapping right now. It's my tour partner from Austin, Texas. Her name is Erin. Give it up.
I wish I was like her.
Aw, that's sweet. So, Trina, I don't know if you heard the story yet or not, but Eric and I, we basically sold everything we owned. We quit our jobs, put what little was left into storage, and hopped on some Greyhounds, and this is what we do for a living now. We travel and read poetry, and listen to poetry around the country, and we're having a blast. I've never been to California before. There's so many new things happening for me on this trip, performing aside. So thank you so much for bringing us to your venue. And on an added note, if you like anything you hear up here, we do have books and CDs and things for sale, so come visit us. Even if you don't want to buy anything, we'd like the hug. The road gets lonely. Yada yada. Bullshit. Okay. So this is, can I share, we're doing I'm gonna share something new. Okay. This is a draft. This is something kind of new. So hang with me there. But we're keeping with our theme of being awkward. For 15 minutes, the conversation barrels on over only 4 comprehensible words. Re-enlisting an Army National Guard. She may as well have said, it's over. She says it's a great opportunity to pay off her debt, have health insurance, finish college. Since when does access to affordable advanced education necessitate one to bear arms? Grade schools actively disarm our children, one by one as they march through metal detectors towards algebra and English classes required by the state to pass the college exams. We are sending our children out unprepared. In my grade school, I met a teacher, some might say a savior, who taught me an education was worth dying for, that the truth is worth dying for, that the real text is read between the lines. Lines march daily from buses to blackboards, from class to chapel, 2 by 2, in uniform blue plaid, peace and quiet, 2 by 2. Her blessed army states, no soldier left behind, but every soldier knows that's not true. Back across the blue divide sits a mother, a child, a loving partner, unacknowledged under law, left alone fighting to keep love alive. There are no medals of honor for this, but plenty of purple hearts. In high school, I met a saint who taught me that the ends must justify the means, and I see no honor in these goals. Killing for calculus, bombing for biochemistry, rifles for debt reduction, hand grenades for health insurance. She says she wants to get in shape, furnish our apartment, civilian casualties for six-pack stomachs, improvised explosive devices for IKEA. This is the text etched between the lines, marched daily from barracks to bunkers, from Humvees to hospitals, and constant rumblings of dust clouds and detonation. I pray to God she makes it home alive. I hope she can stand behind her actions, look me in the eyes and tell me everything was worth it. 'Cause all I see is bloodied rubble on our new bedspread and shrapnel in the study guide and one more soldier left behind. Thanks. Yeah, clap for that ultimate sadness. Yes. What was us? So, I'm going to share one more with you, and then we'll bring Big Poppy back up for a few more, and we'll get on with the slam. This is my absolute favorite story to tell. I like to pick up and go, and that's how I got to Austin. I just left. I packed everything I had into my car. That's all that came with me. I landed in Austin. I was desperate for money, so this is the first job that came my way. And that makes the first line of this poem a little awkward, so just stick with me. It'll make sense. The pimps provide a free fix, then bring their tricks to the kettle breakfast buffet to talk business. In the single occupancy bathroom, evidence of the woman's weaknesses mix among our collective menstrual trash. There's tissue wads that clot a cocaine-laced nosebleeder, a neon orange syringe cap wrapped in a single square stained by single red dots. And I see her almost every day around 12:30, knowing it's been over a year since she could use the night and her mattress for sleeping. Her strawberry blonde, tit-length curls and sour freckled face are fast approaching their expiration date. She even works the Motel 6 parking lot while she waits for her number 5 extra cheese, no pickles to go. Despite her addictions and working conditions, she still manages to tip me $1 and some change, which is more than that man in the business suit left, and I can't help but wonder if she's breaking the 20 he flipped on the dresser while on his way out her door and into mine. On one occasion, my boss asked me to tell this wrinkle-faced, white-haired whisper of a woman wearing even less clothing to settle up on her coffee in the corner booth and leave. I ask him, what for? He states the obvious. So I offer up in her defense, or is it in mine, that we all need to make a living. To me, she is just an old woman sitting, sipping bottomless coffee for $1.29. She isn't hurting a thing, watching the mid-morning sunshine light shows lit off semi-cabs and pickup trucks as they barrel along the highway at an anonymous hum. I tell my boss, I refuse to be the one to shatter her cracked window pane gaze as she, Tell my boss I refuse to be the one to shatter her cracked window pane gaze and take away such precious moments of freedom. Because when my morning shift is done, I rush home and strip. White polo, apron, black belt, pants, underwear on down to skin, soaked in the stink of maple syrup, sour milk, and Clorox. Some days, I'm straight to the shower to drown it all off. Other days, splayed out naked on the bedspread, counting dollars like some prostitute, rich off her renown and loyal set of regular customers. Then I stuff it all in an envelope marked rent, and stuff it back under the mattress, wondering if the hooker has an envelope marked for groceries, or one for poetry, or one for student loans. Like me, I wonder if her circumstance is temporary or experimental, or if the first time she traded her body for cash, she was working as a waitress in the South Austin Kettle. Keep your applause going. I'm gonna bring back up Big Papa E to the stage.
Hey.
Oh, Barry.
I wrote this for two people at a time in their life where there's a great transition, one from high school to college and one from college to real life, and that's a very turbulent time of redefinition and struggle with your parents' definition of who you are and who they thought you would be when they were conceiving you. It's a very difficult time, so this is about that. It starts with a quote, Bruce Springsteen. I'm not gonna sing it. Mama always told me never look into the eyes of the sun. But Mama, that's where the fun is. There comes a time in everyone's life when they must be allowed to discover this truth. The sweetest berries are in the very heart of the sticker bush. It's the scratches that make them sweet. If I've learned anything about life, it's this. A knee without scars is evidence of a life unlived. Children, protected from playing in the dirt, grow into sick adults, unable to fight the simplest infections. Parents can't possibly redeem themselves for past bad choices by forcing their children into closets. This will only make them blind and afraid and vulnerable, and it will make them hate you. You can't protect me from my mistakes. I need them. I need the protection of calluses. I need the wisdom of scars. So, give me a life full of rope burns and splinters and heartfelt advice I'm allowed to ignore. Give me shins scraped by pavement and front teeth cracked by tree limbs and elbows bloodied into stories worth telling. At the end of my life, the last thing I want to see is a long series of safe choices and measured steps. Give me instead a life filled with dizzying triumphs, fueled by countless lovely mess-ups and wonderfully painful bad choices, with cockamamie scenes that sometimes actually worked and stories so outrageous people never stop sharing them as their own. Please, God, let my last dying breath be scented with gentle regret for foolish things I had the courage to try, and none for things I dared not do. Mistakes are the only things that have taught me anything, and I have learned a lot. The only lessons worth learning were the ones that leave a mark. Like Erin said, this is where we live. We're homeless. We don't have an address. Wherever we happen to be is where we live. So I live on this stage right now. And tomorrow we'll be living in Monterey. The next day after that I'll be living in Bakersfield, my hometown. And after that will be no, not blue. Have you ever been to Bakersfield? No. I look at Bakersfield again, I turn into a pillar of salt. That's the kind of place it is. It's biblical like that. It's like freaking Mordor. I feel like Frodo. I'm on a mission that's gonna kill me, but fuck it, I gotta do it. So my daddy. Okay, we'll talk later. Yeah, Bakersfield. Oy. I was in Bakersfield when there was this band called Sex Art. There's this little dude named Jonathan Davis, and he wasn't a very good singer at all. But then he got, they changed the name to Korn. Got famous. The rest of the band became Orgy and Edema, and they got famous. So I knew them back when they was nobody. I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender. Yeah. Alright, so my throat hurts, but I'm gonna do this. This is called mission statement. It's a response to a student who emailed me and said, "Who are you?" Meaning like, who the fuck are you? Like, where'd you come from? So you can't be emailing some dude who writes poetry at 3 in the morning with a question like that. Because you know they're gonna stay up until 6 writing a goddamn response. So this is called mission statement. We are poets. And that lifestyle, like that, yeah. Thank you, good night. And scene. Okay, this is my poem, mission statement. We are poets. And that lifestyle choice may have destroyed our credit, yes. It may have destroyed relationships, yes. It may have destroyed our backs from sleeping on couches between times when we could afford a place of our own, yes. But oh, the beauty, the soul, the whole wide world. We lived for that connection between a poet and someone moved to touch their hand to their chest and whisper, "Oh, I get it." Between two people sitting cross-legged on dusty wooden floors, bathed in Joni Mitchell and candlelight at 3 a.m. Heads bowed, hands held, knees touching. Between the wind and a person alone at a bus stop, whispering his truth over invisible turntable breakbeats from the shady confines of his hoodie. It's all poetry. All of it. Every single breath is scented with poetry. We will die penniless. But oh, the stories, the love, the whole wide world held limp in the palms of our hands, the smiles on our faces as we bid you all goodbye with a twinkle in our eyes and so many sweet, sad songs in our hearts. So many people never get the chance to fly because they never have the courage to leap blindly, stupidly, floppingly out of the nest and bash themselves against all the branches, all the way down, then get up and do it again. And again, so many times they feel like they'll die if they try again, but that's the only way to learn how to fly. And every poet who's ever spread their wings and left the bonds of this earth has a body covered in scars and bruises you feel in every word they speak. We don't just write poetry, we live poetry. Warm noses on cold window panes leave haiku and frost. Blank pages across foreheads yield truth. We can cut our wrist on your lips and drip psalms on your tongue. We can't help it. We are poets. People chain themselves to desks and cage themselves in cubicles and numb themselves in bars and trade their precious hours on this planet for scraps of paper and a gold watch and some fleeting notion of security. And we're the crazy ones, wasting times with moonbeams and seashores. We're the irresponsible ones, chasing fireflies and making love on rooftops. Fuck that! Poetry may be the rose-colored glasses through which we see the world, but we get to see everything. We are not allowed to close our eyes. We do not have the right to remain silent. We are hopelessly, painfully, ravishingly, wonderfully, terribly, horribly in love with love and life itself, even when it hurts. Even when we cry and beg for it all to end, even then it's all so very beautiful and real and perfect that we carry sunshine in our chests. Our rib cages cast shadows on the blind side of our skin. You can see ghosts dancing in our flesh if you squint. We can guide ships to the rocky shores just by toying the lips of the ocean and spreading our arms wide. Our goal in life is simple: to be wide-eyed and breathless at the wonders of the world around us, and dance naked in the warm summer rain, and laugh even when everything sucks, because we may not always be happy, and we may not always be right, and we may not always be listened to by the fuckers at the bar, and we may not always be beautiful, but right here and right now we are young enough to be alive, and all the stoplights are so green they sprout tendrils that tickle the tops of passing buses, and the whole wide world is still so full of magic and possibility. It would be an insult not to drink deeply of it. That's what we do. We drink deeply of life in full-throated gulps. That's who we are. We are poets.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, we have CDs to sell.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for your features.